Probably the greatest example of Grant's total warfare style was implemented by his second in command, General William Tecumseh Sherman, in his March to the Sea. We can see this starting around September of 1864. Remember, this is kind of in the middle of Lincoln's reelection campaign, which is going to be coming up in a couple months. Sherman is going to go to Atlanta, and after a short siege there, is going to capture Atlanta. The retreating Confederates burn Atlanta down because they didn't want the Union to get all the cotton and other supplies there. But they take Atlanta. Sherman messages Lincoln, basically says that we've got you a gift. Lincoln's reelection is essentially secured by this because now it looks like the Union is going to win the war. The war is going well. Lincoln is going to get reelected. There was an effort by McClellan, who was Lincoln's opponent, to offer a negotiated peace with the Confederacy, let them secede. That all falls apart now. Sherman is going to go on then what's called the March to the Sea, because he's going to go to the sea. So he starts his march from Atlanta, and he's going to basically have a 60-mile wide path of destruction from Atlanta to Columbia, and then he's going to go to Charleston and secure that. So if we think of the path of destruction is this path going from Atlanta to essentially Charleston, they are implementing total war, meaning they're making life hard for the civilians. It's an incredibly disciplined campaign, meaning that it's well managed, and the soldiers are actually following orders. They're not harming the citizens or leaving the citizens alone, but they're burning plantations, they're emancipating slaves, they're destroying railroad tracks, right? Making life hard for civilians, making it hard for supply lines to get through the South as well. At the end of this, about 40,000 enslaved people are going to be emancipated because of their own efforts. As the Union Army came through, they were destroying all this property and the plantations and all that, and the enslaved population starts following Sherman's March to the Sea. Sherman's actually a bit irritated about this. There's other stories about that. When he finally gets over the coast, he tries to figure out what to do with this trail of emancipated slaves. He actually talks to them, and they say, we just want land. So Sherman's going to issue a field order that's essentially going to give the Sea Islands over here in South Carolina and Georgia territory to the emancipated slaves, where they're going to try to start farming them. It's going to give rise to that myth of the 40 acres and a mule, which eventually is not going to pan out. By the way, when Charleston falls in February of 1865, Sherman has two segregated units take Charleston, open it up, and the person who was in charge of Fort Sumter when it fell is allowed to retake the take the fort. And as they're raising the flag, they're not playing the Star Spangled Banner. They're playing John Brown's Body, the abolitionist march, inspired by the abolitionist John Brown.